Alright,
Yeah.
the filming is now live. Ignoring what's behind me, this part of the city is called our car park. It is a large, slightly ugly looking structure. However, it's very useful and contains the most important things to us. It's also, this here used to be the main entrance, but kind of moved to this bit, which is now the main entrance. The car park's been reshaped like much of the city many, many times over. We have, if I can get off enough clip, this is our mammoths, Herb and Ernie the third. This is Big Bertha, and trikes were given female names despite their, or regardless of their actual sex. It's Betty and Mavis. And we have an alpha, what do you may call it, Allosaurus. And this is a walkway designed to give you easy access to them. Moving back, this is our force fields. Standard tower. Now, I have turned off all the power generators, which means every turret around the city is offline and we're getting invaded by, well, nature. Jenkins, earlier with the cannon at the castle, started blowing up this part of the wall at the south of the city. I didn't hugely object, so I told him to might as well keep going to get to the end of the wall, but don't go any further. Even though we filmed this yesterday. But, big things, a couple of T-Rexes have now come in. Oh, and a Bronto. Something just blew up. What was that, Jenkins? Jenkins?
Nothing. I was just checking. I was just checking the range of the rocket turret. Never mind that.
I'll be back.
I was trying to see if I can hit the Rexes from here, but no.
Anyhow, oh.
Are you doing anything?
When did that part of the city get destroyed? Huh.
Okay. I'll wait till you get out.
Okay. Anyway, this is the landing pad above the Foundry building. Little security gates and turrets. This is a cafe. It's quite nice in here. We'll see for that. This is the top of the elevator structure that takes you down to... Oh, there's a Gallimimus in town. Did you see that, Jenkins? No?
Yeah, where?
In Market Street, there's a Gallimimus. I never.
How did I get it?
I don't know. He's walking through Market Street. I never thought I would see that.
Yeah,
That's very that's very strange to see dinosaurs walking around.
The door closed and they have to air
Yeah.
your room out.
That's very strange. Very strange indeed. All that's weird. It's not doing anything.
Set fire to him, maybe.
Set fire to it?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, he's not.
Sure?
He's not one of ours. I don't know how he entered the town.
I suppose it's an interesting
It's
way of looking at it.
amazing, isn't it, how much nature has reclaimed the minute we turn off our defenses. Anyway, back to this. The top floor is the Avery Brooks landing pad. And of course, only people that would know Star Trek would know what that meant.
Yeah.
This is Sky Cap. No more. And no more. And the Quetzal. I'll leave
There's a
that one.
dead. There's a dead Gallimimus on Market Street.
Mm-hmm.
I see. This is the... Oh, he's moved. I don't know how that happened. The midwife's moved. But this is the nursery. I don't know how the midwife's moved.
Someone use a whistle.
No, don't think so. Huh. And the stables that did have lots of things in it the other day, but now doesn't. As my personal bulldozer, I will now euthanize him. Back
See,
to
the little
the-
bugger's still standing.
This is the little drawbridgey thing. This is what we call the staff room. It's had many purposes, this room, over the course of our time. It now mainly is the feed basket and the saddle and platforms drawer. And this machine here, which was mainly just to grab any eggs or manure from anything in the car park building. There is a little elevator. This is meant to be the slaves' hangout point. Turn out the guard, kind of thing, and this is where they would come from, that sort of thing. This opens and takes you to our secondary courtyard, which is much bigger than the first, and it's built exclusively for these big, massive things, xenomorphs and Zelda's cousin. I'm not going to euthanize animals that are not mine. That's up to William to do.
It's William's job.
Well, it's his honor. It's his things. Now, going back into the structure, we have a secret door that takes you back to the staff room. You can also go down one level, and it takes you to another secret door that goes to the sort of farm-like area that we have. This has changed many, many times since we've been here. There's always been a farm, but it's just changed how it looks. I sometimes forget where the door is. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? I've lost the door.
People! I found people!
It's fine. I'll go the other way. This goes into this floor. That's Clarkson's Farm 2.0, Pen 04. This is Monkeys and Bears, Pen 03. We have removed some of the life forms in here yesterday. Winnie the Pooh and his two cousins and Carlos. The next pen, Bugs and Nasties 01. And every day I would come here to the Scorpion, go to his inventory and remove the Scorpion venom and then take it to the science lab. Obviously I'm not doing that today. We still had more Nasties to bring, but Spiders Pen 2, I try to avoid this one for the obvious reason. As disgusting as that thing is, he's actually really, really good at almost everything, actually. He's fast running, he's good weapons, good defense. He can climb walls. I mean, he's really good, the big spider. It's just, I don't like spiders. But still, very, very good. Forget his name, Death something, Fangs. No, what was it? It's called Devil Fangs. And the two baby spiders didn't actually come from him, but I like the idea of having them. When we had gardening and decorating stuff, we did have nice trees and bushes and weird looking ornaments to make the place a bit more spooky, but we don't have that mod so anymore. And then that takes you back to the courtyard with our foundry building on the other side. Now this room in here is called the collection center, and again this is a room I would come to every day. It has multiple purposes. It has our incinerator, and it's also the first one I put in and the one I use the most. The second one I would use the most is the one in the castle, but this one every day I use this. And we have velariums, but I seem to call them veliculariums, but they're not. They're called velariums. They're very clever. You can create, it's like a holographic world, microscopic world, and you put different animals into it, and they do their jobs as if it was a real world. For example, dodos. Whatever animal we had in Corral, you could put in here, and if it had a specialization of collecting something, then it would collect it and go to these machines, which I would empty every day, several times a day. Example, eggs. I would always be taking out the eggs and then taking them to the fridge in the science lab. What, to either eat them or use them, but in most cases they were actually just left in the fridge. Until recently, when I discovered to make a lot of kibbles, I've needed a lot of eggs. So I started using quite a bit of them at that point. This is the Get Stuff stuffing store. I quite like it, actually. I think it's really cool. There's many, many, many more things that it can make, but I obviously had a lack of space to store anymore. I was planning on decorating the castle in the ballroom with every single one of them possible. This thing here turned out to be very cool, the taxidermy. You could actually get a moving image of any animal you really wanted, and it could do a number of different stants. William came up with the idea of using this version as a wildlife version of the agitator. He did work until I turned off the power. And then good view of the castle. And then you're entering the science center. Again, with no power, nothing is operational. No air conditioning, no electricals, no lights, no incubation machines. All of our cryo storage is also offline, and all the eggs and things are also offline, which means things will be dying and deteriorating in each of them. Ah, Mr. William with his wonderful outfit. Stay there. I don't know if you've ever seen you from behind. Look at that. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's also funny. And that is the secret tunnel that goes under the city, which we're going to follow. As you know, when I build things, I always have as many secret hidey holes as possible. It just makes it fun. I do that in every game if I can. Then it's the graveyard in here. And just to prove there is no more community ever, this is the community grave. Daniel was here earlier until he was burned. And we've got our Gmod, Armor 3, Space Engineers, GTA and 5M, games that we will never return to, which is why they're here as graves. And of course my usual animals, Flip-Flops, Big Bird and Aldwin, but they will all be replaced on the new server, just with a different number. So it's not like I'm going to miss them, I'll see them soon. And then here is the bottom floor of the car park for lizardy type animals.
I'll be back.
Komodo dragons, which I think can have a poison, or do poison. I have a memory of that on my first server. They were wandering around our cowboy town, if you remember, Ethan.
Perhaps.
Remember the first server I built a cowboy town?
Oh yeah.
kind of cowboy theme. And slugs, and I named Brunt FCA and Zeki. And if you're a Star Trekky person, you would get that reference. And this is called the Underworld. There's a secret door to this elevator, which will take you up, and you're back in the car park. Nearly finished the tour. This is our large-scaled garden. It's changed many, many times. It used to have lots of structures and a road and everything on it. But as we have evolved through time, for one reason or another, we've altered it, and this is now how it is. We've got Bambi and Bambi's mum yet to die. If you know the Disney movie Bambi, you'll get that reference. We have a wolf called Teen Wolf, who is meant to be shepherding the sheep. Who we've got privileged white women and the male driver. We do have more sheep, but we put many into storage yesterday, into cryo. A couple of other life forms around, just to make it look like it's a kind of Serengeti. We have more of every kind of dinosaur. We did have more yesterday. And our unicorn, which was our most recent thing, and it can fly. Did you know that, Jenkins?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you make it fly,
I don't know either.
but you can, because William did it. How do you fly?
That's cool.
Press C.
Okay. I'll check.
You have to mark it C.
Alright, why don't you do it?
There.
Oh wait, his,
Now the
his
horn-
thing's
yeah.
coming out. Okay.
You have to press C and then they come out.
And he has like a rainbow thing in... He's actually quite fast, the horse, on running and flying. So I would recommend that we maybe use them again. There's some life forms I wouldn't recommend or don't care about, but I think we need one of them. Sheep obviously gives wool and mutton, so sometimes we do have sheep which I then kill for mutton. Then we have our massive tribute to Pacific Rim. I'm not too sure how it works. William will demonstrate what it looks like.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, William. Could you do it now?
I am on my way.
Just checking. I definitely think this is a very cool thing to have. He's got all sorts of weapons. He's got a sword and a rocket launcher and a whatever that is, pulse.
I've got this.
And he can fly. Oh, look at that. Direct hit to the castle. Amazingly, it's still intact. Since I'm no clipping, I'll show you quickly the cliff things where we have dragon storage. We did have more dragons. I think they've been boxed.
I boxed them, yeah.
Back down to the proving ground area. Oh, I went flying. And obviously this hole in the wall was designed for access to things that flew or needs to fly once they're born from, or once they're finished with the nursery. To reduce on lag, I opted not to have force field doors. There's a few design things I have had to do to reduce lag and things. If I didn't have to worry about such things, I would probably have put more detail in. Okay, moving to the final part, I think. Up one. And then you're back to the car park bit. Lovely, lovely. Down one and across. Oh, hi. Up one. Then you're on the Great Wall, as I call it. Now, this was our main wall and only wall at one point. the city wasn't always surrounding the lake. There was times where we only really constructed in the north. In fact, right at the beginning of the game, we even had a wall going all the way around the springs. This whole area was part of the city, right up to the cliff edge. So it was, yeah, we've pulled back a fair bit. And there's a few funny things about those steam vents. If you go into them, they send you flying up. We found out accidentally that, and then, yeah. I also found if you do it with an owl, oh, there's a T-Rex out there. If you do it with an owl, and then it takes you right up with the owl, and then you can skydive literal down with it. That's very cool. Observation level for the farm once it renders in. Something's attacking the north power station, which is offline. Oh. We're being attacked. Up one. You're here. Up one. Another power generator. There's several throughout the city, all at different corners. So, yeah, there should always be power available. Next floor up. And next floor up, you're back onto the Great Wall. This is the last tower. You go up and you get a good view. You can see everything. Down one. And a repulsor pad, which we've just started using yesterday, and if you activate it, it will also fly you up into orbit, much the same distance and speed as the steam vents. I believe that concludes the tour. I have nothing else to really say that you haven't already seen. I'm going to stop the recording